What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another beautiful episode of We Don't Know Toots. I am one host, Rob, and I'm joined with my brother, Stevie boy, beefy boy, whatever your heart
Stevie
desires.
Wonder, baby.
Stevie Wonder it's an option. Wouldn't be my first choice, but it's an option. How you doing today, Steve?
I'm doing quite well, Rob, but you know what? Perfect segue I'm about to go into. I'm a little butthurt about a topic called butt rock.
Do tell.
All right. Butt rock, recently discovered by us, is what people are starting to call essentially the music you and I grew up listening to.
I'm afraid so.
Or when we first started getting into music.
Yeah.
That's the music that is now butt rock, and that is straight up not cool with me, man.
No. That hurts my little feelings a little bit.
Yeah. So I was looking at it because I was curious about it, and I guess the reason it's called butt rock, I don't know if you saw this.
I did not.
The reason it's called butt rock is because the rock stations that play this kind of music would go nothing but rock. And then people that were all, I only listen to pianos and violins and some Spanish person because I want to feel like I'm cultured and I'm not definitely compensating for being an idiot. They're like nothing but rock.
Let them know.
Like but with two T's. That's what they started. So
wow.
yeah. So
Okay.
what I'm seeing here is what I kept seeing when I kept looking at this is like the one that was always on the list was Nickelback.
Yeah.
Is what I saw.
Well, I wanted to.
I saw them all.
Well, I guess that kind of answered my question because I wanted to like start by defining what butt rock is, but that explains a lot because yeah, it was bothering me a little bit that a lot of my favorite music is now being labeled as butt rock. So that checks out. Cause like I remember back in college when I was in college they used to call this kind of music dad rock, which made a little more sense. Like it was rock before our time a little bit, like maybe a generation or maybe even just like 5 to 10 years before us.
Yeah.
So like that definition made a little more sense, and it's really basically all the same bands and all the same genre, but now they're calling it butt rock because the TikTok kids don't like it.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. Is
now
like,
it's gotta be.
Yeah, it's let's be real. It's something you can't dance to on TikTok, and that's why they have to insult it. Grumpy old man time here. Grumpy old Rob is taking over.
It's not music that sounds like poetry by some freaking high school kid or whatever. That's just super basic lyrics. Like it's, yeah, basically, yeah. Your definition was pretty spot on. Not able to dance to it on TikTok.
Those darn Gen Z kids and their TikToks and their Instagrams
on their mobile telephones,
their booked faces, and the tweeting about the Twitter sphere and Joe Biden's conspiracies. Joe Biden doesn't like butt rock.
Yeah. So I know Nickelback's like kind of the crown, the go-to and butt rock band is what I was saying, which honestly Nickelback gets a lot of crap, but I'll be honest, I'll jam to some Nickelback.
Yeah, I don't
even care.
I don't hate I mean they got popular for a reason. And I saw a guy I was watching, I don't remember when I was watching this. It's been a couple weeks. And I don't remember why Nickelback was a topic, but he was saying that like Nickelback only got hate because like it became popular to hate. Like they have good songs, and like I said, they got popular for a reason, and then someone decided like, oh, Nickelback sucks, they just make bad music, and everyone's like, yeah, dude, I'm funny if I say that. So they get a lot of hate for no reason, but they do have some good songs.
Honestly, I jammed to their song Rockstar. I jammed to that all
the time. Dude, Rockstar is still a good one. And what's the one, are they the one that's like the Never Made It as a Wise Man? That's them, right? How You Remind Me. This is how you remind me. Yeah, that's a great. That is an objectively good song. That's a good rock song.
Photograph was super popular.
Photograph is a very nostalgic song.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So I'll throw hands over that. I'd be willing to fight, I guess.
I agree.
But I'm just always ready.
I also do kind of feel like butt rock is an appropriate genre for them. So like, butt rock is not officially recognized as like an official genre. So like Spotify hasn't made like a best of butt rock playlist. So like all the playlists
they haven't, or they
no, they have not. And all the playlists that I found like is just people throwing all the same bands in there. So like if it were, and I doubt it ever becomes a real like actually recognized genre, but like if it were, I think Nickelback would maybe be the face of it. Even though like we said, we do enjoy their music.
So I was Googling this and looking up a bunch of different ones just to see what people were qualifying as butt rock and just making me more butthurt about butt rock. And the one I kept it pulled up because it's so obnoxious how they phrase it, but it's this website called Houston Press. All right, and I guess, I mean, this article is from 2014, I guess. So this has been around and we're just now finding out about it. That's great. Wow. But they start off their article by saying, butt rock is that musical stank on your shoe that you can't get off. It's one part aggro noise, one part self-indulgent and whiny singer, and somehow a whole lot of douche. Like, wow. What the heck, man?
That's aggressive.
Like, these were some bands that were very widely popular, not like this like niche fan base that was super annoying or anything. It was super popular bands like Nickelback, and I saw Green Day on here, some bands like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? Let's be mad at them. That was aggressive one.
That's an aggressive definition. Like, I agreed with it. Like when they said it's that stank on your shoe you can't get off. Like, yeah, I get that. You can't get rid of it. Like, you still go back to it. And then they just started like going in on it. Like, dude. That sounds like it was written by a grandma.
Yeah.
It's like, did they say ass in this song?
What does it?
Oh heavens! I can't hear anything over those guitars and drums. This is butt rock.
This is rock just for butts. I mean, it gets my butt moving.
They're trying not to curse.
It gets my butt moving, Ethel. So. Maybe you're not wrong.
But top bands what are some of the bands that you saw on there that made you upset? I saw Nickelback and I said Green Day too, which is like that one was like really dumb because I'm like, Green Day is pretty iconic as far as bands go. Like
I didn't like do as much research as it sounds like you did. Like I didn't Google it or anything. I was just kind of jumping around Spotify playlists is all I did. So it was just random strangers making Spotify playlists labeled butt rock. I noticed that it really spans like multiple decades. Like I found bands with like Metallica and Ozzy and Green Day and Blink and like even like newer music, like Breaking Benjamin's newest albums. I've seen those in there. Like a lot of like the new releases from some of those older bands. I guess they just kind of got lumped in because of their older music, but like, so it spans multiple decades. So like, I thought it just seems very hard to nail down what people think it is. I guess it's just it's music that your parents listen to, apparently, is the vibe that I got. But
it's music that your parents listen to, but their parents got mad at them for listening.
Exactly. And their parents spanked their butts for it.
Their rocking butts.
And washed their ears out with soap.
Their ears out with soap.
Yeah, they washed their ears. Listening to this?
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh my word, that sounds like low-key dangerous. But here's a band I saw pop up on several lists that I think will get your panties in a wad, Rob. Anberlin, I saw on several.
Really? Come on now.
I'm sorry. You had to hear it from me. I didn't want to be the one to tell you.
These freaking Gen Zs, man. They're asking for it.
They don't care about anyone. Take no prisoners.
They're asking for it, dude.
I don't know. Like, I get Anberlin was I don't know, at least for me in my mind, in that time frame of old Green Day and Nickelback and stuff like that, their music is just a little different.
Their music is,
I don't know, to
yeah,
me
it's
at
really
least.
good. It's just really good music. Like I get like,
Yeah,
it's melodic, I think is the word I'm looking for. Like it's not just like it's not just a genre. There's like actual like, I don't know, without sounding too pretentious or dweeby. Like it just sounds like very artistic and beautiful. A lot of their music does.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say with their lyrics. It's more,
it's deeper,
yeah, some songs just straight up like say what they're saying and saying what they're meaning. But like bands like Amberlin, Hands Like Houses does a really good job
I
of
thought
this.
the same thing
Honestly,
about them. Yeah.
honestly, Fall Out Boy does a good job of this. It's just saying like stuff that doesn't totally make Fall Out Boys. A lot of it just doesn't make sense.
Fall
in general.
Out Boy is a creative bunch.
Yeah, but Amberlin and like bands like Hands Like Houses, their music is like you kind of gotta listen to it and actually like, for me, I've got to look up the lyrics to some of their songs just to actually know what they're saying and understand it. So that's why I'm like, that's really
that's yeah,
but,
yeah, well said. I'm surprised Amberlin made it in there. Like even in their era, I felt like they were kind of. I mean, like this was very early into my music enjoyment career, but I felt like they were pretty underground even in their own era.
That's kind of what my feeling
Maybe
was.
not
too.
underground,
and
but like definitely not as popular.
Yeah, and I wasn't in that scene. I mean,
neither of us were.
Neither of us really were. We were private school kids and not going to any concerts, just whatever we could,
get our grubby
download
little
from
hands on
LimeWire and and listen to that. So I don't know. I wasn't really in the scene, but that's kind of always the feeling I got about Amberlin too. Like maybe some people know about him, but it's not really. Whenever you're like listening to like top 25 greatest songs from early 2000s or whatever in that punk rock era, like you never really see them in that.
Yeah, so. you might get what's the feel good drag? That one might show up, but other than that, you're not gonna usually find Amberlin. Side note, I've been listening to a lot of Amberlin this week since I decided I'm gonna go to that because I'm gonna go to that festival.
Yeah, I've
been listening to them a lot this week. Just going down memory lane. I mean, to be honest, when I got into Amberlin, I really only listened to that Never Take Friendship Personal album because that was the one our youth pastor had on CD, so that was the only one I ever heard.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. But then, I mean, since I developed and matured, I've definitely found more Amberlin because believe it or not, they have more than one album, but
wowzers.
Yeah, but yeah, listening to them this week, it's been a nice change of pace. Like I don't know if you saw, but I posted one of their songs on my story and like just been really feeling the Lynn this week.
Feel the life.
My butt is rocking.
They get your butt into a rocking mood. But I also every single list also had 3 Days Grace, which based on the other bands that you see in this list, that one makes sense that they're lumped with these bands. But that is, I mean, I jammed 3 Days Grace super hard. What was the Chalk Outline album?
Yeah.
I don't
was
remember
it Sign of the Times or something like that? Or I know that was one of the tracks on there. I don't know if that was the name of the album. Transit of Venus.
When that album,
Transit of Venus.
That's right.
Yeah, dude. I can't believe I just remembered that without even looking it up.
That album, dude, like every song on that album, I was like, that's when I was like a younger kid and getting into me, not super younger, but it's still when I was really starting to discover music and stuff, and I just jammed that album.
Yeah, dude. I'll be honest, I've kind of cooled on 3 Days Grace since high school, but like their first couple albums definitely really good.
Yeah, definitely I was really into them in high school. I was really into them, and then didn't listen to them after I left high school, and like 2 or 3 years later, I was just like shuffling, recommending music on my Spotify, and I think it was like that Transit of Venus album came up or some song from it. I'm like, dude, this was my jam back in the day. So I added a bunch of their songs to my, top jams playlist. Yeah. And then I always skipped them for years. And just a little while ago, I finally cleared out that playlist, and every 3 Days Grace song is gone.
So I think Transit of Venus is the album where they changed singers. It was either that was the first album with the new singer, or that was the last album with the old singer, one or the other. And since they've gotten their new singer, like Transit of Venus, if that was with the new singer, that was a really good album. But since then, I haven't really been into their music. Like I've listened to their albums when they dropped, but I just can't get into them anymore.
I don't know if I've even listened to their new albums, honestly.
I mean, I'm speaking like they have multiple. Maybe they don't. I know they have at least one more for sure. Let me see. There's like a little like Red X or whatever it is. Let's see here. They got. Oh, they just came out with an album last year. Okay, yeah, they've had 2 albums.
Let them go.
Oh, and the Human album. Oh, maybe Human was the last album with their new singer. That one was a good one. That one wasn't too bad either. But yeah, those are like first 3 albums. The 3 Days Grace album, 1X, and Life Starts Now.
Yeah,
those are youth-defining albums.
Yeah,
so take that, man. Gen Z. You missed out on some good old butt rock.
Yeah, that was, you wouldn't have survived in the pit. Not a chance.
Along the lines of 3 Days Grace, Breaking Benjamin made a lot of those playlists that I saw, which is just nonsense. I have not fallen out of them since high school. They are still putting out good music.
I was never super, I never listened to Breaking Benjamin, consistently going through the albums and purposely listening to their music. But I listen, there's plenty of playlists I follow that has their music in it and stuff like that, and I always enjoy their music. And that's one of those bands when it comes up and I'm in the car, I'm like, I need to go through and listen to all their stuff. And then I never.
Right. But every once in a while I just get one of their songs will come up in my shuffle. I have a lot of their older stuff in my Top Jams playlist, and every once in a while it'll come up in a shuffle, and I'll want to go listen to that Phobia album, or what's the one where the guy's with floating above the ground or whatever. That one, I really like that album. That might be Phobia, actually, now that I'm saying it. But yeah, every once in a while I go back and that was Phobia, the guy with the angel wings.
Yeah,
I was thinking Dear Agony. Both of those albums, I go through and listen to them. Fairly often, considering how long ago they came out.
Yeah,
2006, 2009, according to Spotify.
Phobia, that had Diary of Jane in it, right?
Dude.
That one was everyone knew Diary of Jane. That's you don't know Breaking Benjamin, but you know Diary of Jane.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's usually the one that comes up. I'm like, man, every once in a while, just hits that nostalgia bone. You're like, man, there's it just takes you back to being a kid, and you're like, oh man, I want to go listen to this music again. You listen to that whole album, just chef's kiss. Mwah.
Yeah.
Another notable frequent insult was Linkin Park. How you gonna hate?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I almost kind of get every band that we've mentioned so far, but Linkin Park as a butt rock.
Yeah.
When I think butt rock, I'm thinking kind of basic sounds, generic rock, a little harder,
a little grungier.
Dad rock. Yeah, a little grungier, but Linkin Park
greasy guys.
Transcended genres. They were the first notable rap metal group for sure. You don't think rap metal Godfathers and not think Linkin Park.
Yes.
So to lump them into what I perceive as an insult does not make sense to me.
Yeah, they were their own special, people that weren't into this style of music were still listening to Linkin Park. I don't know, they had so many albums that had so many really big songs on them, and songs that are still pretty popular.
Yeah.
Because there's that.
Do you hear a couple a month ago they released an unreleased song with Chester still singing it? They just it was an unreleased.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that because that was
it was pretty good.
Him still as the lead singer. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, wow, yeah, I totally forgot about that whole situation, just with him dying and everything.
Yeah, that was rough. I remember where I was when I found out. That was back on Olive Street.
Oh man, yeah,
I remember up in my room, gaming.
Yeah, just breaking my heart, man, because I was still pretty into Linkin Park. Like, I'll still listen to their music if it comes up, I guess, but I'm not like into them, like constantly going and listening to them. But back then, it was just like, what am I supposed to do now?
Right.
Because that was like, their one album had just came out, right? That song Numb on it, or not Numb?
No, Numb's from.
Yeah, Numb's Forever Ago. Heavy. Yeah. And so I was just like, oh my God, the signs were there. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember not liking that album when it first dropped, but maybe it was because of his death and everything, but like going back and like listening to it like a year or two later, I was like, actually, this ain't half bad. It's a halfway decent album. Definitely not their best, but it's definitely not butt rock.
Yeah. Definitely not. Another band on the butt rock that so it's Theory of a Dead Man, right? I've never gone through and listened to them super hard, but I know several of their songs, and I do enjoy several of their songs. I was actually on my way home today. I was shuffling through, I think like my Discover Weekly playlist, and a Theory of a Dead Man song came up. I'm like, this is not bad. So, but that was
Not Meant to Be song. I like that song a lot.
Yeah, and then I think what they do, that Medusa Stolen one or whatever, that's the one that came up today on my Discover Weekly. It was a pretty good song. I think I even added it to one of my playlists to listen to again later.
Okay.
But yeah,
I don't know that one, but
that's like a pretty, at least as far as I knew, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that was a pretty popular band, like one of those staple kind of bands, like, kind of up there with 3 Days Grace. Just like, to people that are in this genre, they all listen to Theory of Dead Man. At least that's what I always thought of Theory. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I feel like they'd be aptly lumped into that genre, I guess.
Yeah, but overall, I don't agree with this trend. No, I don't even half agree. There were several bands in it that I didn't totally recognize. Like,
I also noticed like Kid Rock and Creed was
oh really?
were frequent contenders, which if I were to think butt rock, I would definitely
Kid Rock.
Their names would come across my mind for sure. Not that Creed has. I don't know a lot of Creed, but like the songs that I do know, I kind of like. So I don't think I could name you one Kid Rock song though.
All I know about Creed is that like there's people who, it's like White Castle, people who absolutely hate it, but then their fans are just like super diehard, and all of them have been to a minimum 20 Creed shows, it seems like. Anytime you hear anything about Creed.
I don't think I've ever met a Creed fan that dedicated.
I don't know. It just seems like they're all like, I've been to so many Creed. 20 is a lot of shows, but I've been to a buttload of Creed shows, and I freaking love Creed. And then people are like, Creed is so dumb. Why are people so into Creed? And then there's people like me that's like, I don't think I could name a Creed song off the top of my head. I know
very neutral on Creed.
I know there's songs that when I hear them, I'd be like, oh, I know this song. Oh, this is Creed. There's a lot of songs with a lot of bands like that for me.
Right.
But
the With Arms Wide Open.
Oh, that's Creed. Yeah, there you go. See, I know that one.
Yeah.
Look at me. Starting to know my toots. I'm getting there.
I think that's the only one I could probably name you off the top of my head. If like you said, if I were to hear a song and be like, oh yeah, so that's Creed.
Yeah. So they're one of those bands that I hear about all the time, but know nothing about. I don't know.
Another insult. Man. So I wanted to just glaze over a couple of these other insults. I saw Switchfoot on there in an alarming amount. Like, leave my little Christian pop punk band out of this.
Yeah, I was gonna say they
didn't do anything to you. They raised me.
Yeah.
Rage Against the Machine. Wait, what were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know Switchfoot was well enough known to now be insulted widely. Yeah. Like, come on, like, yeah, leave us something. They really did a deep dive.
I'm surprised they make it onto the Nothing But Rock stations.
Yeah.
Rage Against the Machine, like that's not like bad rock. That's rock with a message, dude.
I only know a few of their songs, but yeah, they stand for something, dude.
Yeah, man. I mean, plus they're just kind of like iconic in that punk grunge scene. Like they're top of the list. Blink-182 I saw show up a lot.
Yeah,
which, like,
you said that.
If you think of the sound of what you think butt rock is, I wouldn't put that high speed pop punk sound in there.
No, Blink-182. I can't think of any Blink-182 songs I'd be like, yeah, maybe. Like, I don't know.
Like, if you're just saying old people rock, like above 20-year-olds type of rock, then yeah. But like, that doesn't mesh the general genre that you guys have thrown in there.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think. It just seems like any bands that were like at Warped Tour or like muddy rock shows, they're just like, get them all out of here. We need to be. We need to. If it was a band where you went to see them and they didn't have a ton of seating to relax in, they're like, lump them in there. Like, if it's only standing and moshing kind of music, lump it into
$20 tickets, no thank you.
Yeah. I need to pay $600 to listen to some person who doesn't even write their own music perform a very boring show that all you can do is maybe sing along and sway to.
And I can see them from across the stadium in my nosebleed seating that I paid $300 for.
Yeah. So
unnamed, very popular blonde singer.
Yes, it's
in mind.
I've got to be down. I don't know, man. You got to be able to. The best thing about all the concerts that I've gone to is like I'm standing, you're jumping around with random strangers, and
yeah, you can be in it.
Yeah, you can crowd surf if you want to. That kind of stuff. I don't know.
Like I was looking at Fall Out Boy's new tour, and their pit tickets are like $200.
Yeah. Which is,
I'm like, man, I'm glad we saw them at a festival, but like, and I'm glad that they were having success because I love Fall Out Boy and they deserve it. But sucks because I'm not gonna pay like $100 to go sit in a seat and watch them, which I've done, but I don't think it was $100. But I definitely wouldn't do that anymore.
No, I'm not willing to spend $100 to. If someone else wants to buy me a ticket, yeah, I'll totally go.
Yeah, hey, whoever was thinking about sponsoring our growth.
Yeah, we need some podcast sponsors who also need to sponsor some field research.
Yeah. We want to know a little bit about Toots, just a smidge.
And you know what? I will gladly do a butt rock tour. You know what?
I'm dude, that would be so sick, actually.
You know what? That's what needs to happen. Is some concert promoter guy needs to just make the best out of that situation and make a butt rock music festival and just have all of these bands there. That's fine. You know, I think that crowd would be a crowd I would get along with most people. There wouldn't be any like super annoying soft fans there, right? Like the people that are only there for their new album.
That festival I'm going to in Birmingham, dude, that would be the perfect starting point. So the day I'm going to, the top 4 headliners are MXPX, Hatebreed, Amberlin, and Reliant K. Like,
yeah,
I feel like if you say an Amberlin's making it in, and if I've seen Switchfoot make it in, then those 4 are definitely gonna meet the criteria.
Yeah, and that's what I imagine this kind of concert, like a tour of butt rock bands. That's how I kind of imagine the music festival you're going to.
We could go there, make some content out of it.
Yeah, there we go. We should
have a handful of TikToks. Really introduce butt rock to the TikTok scene and make them realize what they're missing.
Yeah, we'll do a live podcast recording just in the middle of someone's set. In the pit, yeah.
It's like set up a whole table, like people are bumping into us, like, so what did you think of? I thought, hey, what do you think of this band? And there's just like blaring rock noise over top of us.
And our opening is I'm Steven and this is Rob, and today we're joined by special guests, drunk fat white dudes.
Yes, dude.
Someone else's sweat in my mouth is today's special guest.
Just one of us gets knocked out by a crowd surfer in the middle of the episode. Oh, and Steve is down for the count. We'll like check back with him momentarily.
That's an amazing idea. That would be super cool if we could go there and manage to get one of those bands as special guests, and that would have been a perfect special guest for a butt rock episode is be like, and we're exposing. Today we're breaking the news live to 3 Days Grace that they are butt rock, and then 3 Days Grace lead singer or whatever the heck his name is like, we're what? Sorry to tell you, Mr. Grace.
That'd be phenomenal.
Mr. 3 Days Grace. Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be terrific. You're on to something there. Looks like you're gonna have to come to Furnace Fest with me.
Yeah, it looks like it. Alabama,
I'm legit gonna go by myself. Like, you're really the only person you're the only person I even asked. No, I asked my other friend, but he's not gonna be able to either. But I'm willing to go by myself. I don't care.
If it was the Saturday day, man, but I'd love to. It would be cool. There's nothing else to do in Alabama, right? That's where it is, right? Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the heck else are you?
That's gonna be right in the middle of college football season, so hotels are gonna be a little spicy. Because that's gonna be like a 4.5 hour drive for me, so I'm definitely gonna get a hotel for the night and just go back in the morning.
Yeah. Dude, that was always so brutal about Warped Tour, and just honestly any concert we went to, but Warped Tour especially because it was all day and in the sun. Yeah. So you're like moshing and jamming for 9 hours straight.
Not drinking any water. Yeah, not drinking any water. Anything.
Barely eating food because the food is so expensive, and you were just too busy to even really realize how hungry you are. And then you get in the car and you're like, "Oh my gosh, we're 2 hours from home." And
or especially if we were in Cincinnati, it's like 3 hours.
Yeah. Oh my word, that was so bro. Because Warped Tour was my first concert. So you took me there, and as soon as we got in the car, we went to Cincinnati.
Your first concert was my first concert. It was Super Chick.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's
true. Or no. It was Barlow Girl.
Or Barlow Girl. Barlow.
Yeah, Barlow Girl at the Hancock County Fairgrounds.
Yeah,
at Awaken Fest.
Yes, sir. Because I remember
that was our first concert.
You went like 2 years later because Hawk Nelson was there. But
yeah,
I was just a kid. I had no money for a
$60
ticket. Oh, I wanted
it was
to go
not
to that
$60. I wouldn't have gone if it was $60. It was at the fairgrounds in little Podunk town, Ohio.
Which honestly was always surprising. Even back then, like I get those bands aren't like selling out stadiums,
right?
But in the Christian contemporary world, I don't know.
They were big names.
Even outside of it, Hawk Nelson was a pretty big name. Family Force 5 was at Warped
Family
Tour
Force 5 is definitely yeah.
So I don't know.
The Afters were there. That other time I went. That's a big Christian band.
Yeah. So in that crowd was not very big though, like at all.
No.
So
I just remember like we were close enough to the Hawk Nelson stage, and this was like, I don't know if you knew, but I'm pretty sure they switched lead singers too.
Yeah.
And that's when they started making like more praise, like Caleb friendly music.
Church that you can play in church really easily.
Exactly. And so like when we saw them, that's kind of most of what they were playing. And we were like, oh man, we wanted to hear some of their older stuff. And one of the guys I went with, they were like while the singer was like talking in between songs, the guy was like, play Letters from the President. And like the bassist heard it and he like looked around and was like pointing, and I was like, it was him. Play it. And they did not.
Oh, what? That's like, okay,
I know.
Whatever. That's stupid.
Yeah, it was a bummer. Family Force 5 rocked out, so it was all good. But I remember kind of being disappointed with Hawk Nelson, considering how much of their catalog I knew.
Yeah, I know a good amount of their songs, honestly, because like I got into them for like a summer or something like that, and I now remember a ton of their songs.
Oh yeah.
So
one of the first CDs I owned was Hawk Nelson Is My Friend.
Yeah, we bought that together, remember?
Oh, yeah, we did.
We were on the way back from our great grandma's Christmas party, and we each had gotten like $10 or something like that, and we stopped by like the Christian bookstore on the way home, and we split
a CD.
Yeah. Oh heck
man.
Yeah. One of us still have. Do you still have it?
I bet I do. I still have a stack of CDs. I bet it's still up over there. Well, all right. If these Gen Z kids were familiar with Christian rock, I bet Hawk Nelson would have gotten lumped in there.
Dude, yeah, probably. Honestly, Bring 'Em Out though. Everyone knows Bring 'Em Out.
Oh yeah,
that was a super popular song. Just in like I remember it being on several movies. Like Yours, Mine, and Ours. Yeah, it was on that one, but it was on a lot of movies. That was a classic. Hard to not love that song, honestly. So, all right. Well, we've talked about butt rock for over half an hour. So,
people need to hear the truth.
Yeah.
Butt rock is good.
I'm butthurt about it. So, you know what? Half an hour seems pretty
closing
fair.
arguments on the butt rock segment. Butt rock is good.
Butt rock is very, very fine.
We don't know Toots, and we approve this message.
But so keeping on the kind of the rock trend, thinking about bands that were important to me and you and the punk rock scene, All Time Low came out with the new album. I listened to that. You didn't get a chance to listen to it much, right?
Yep.
It's funny.
Yep. So I truly do not know these Toots, so I'm going to let you cover this one.
Yeah, I'm going to cover it, but I've only listened through it once because we told me it's about what I expected All Time Low's new album to be, just based on like kind of how that, like those bands that were making that punk rock or pop punk, they were pop punk back when I was 14, right? Based on the kind of music they make now, it's exactly that. So I listened to it, and none of them were like, oh yeah, this is a jam. But there were. So the very first song on the album is called "Tell Me I'm Alive," and it started out, I'm like, this is a bummer. But the second half is actually pretty good. Like it goes into like it's totally switched. It's one of those songs that like starts off like it's supposed to be, I don't know, like kind of soft, and then halfway through just like has the breakdown or whatever. So that one was a pretty good one. I'd recommend giving that at least a listen. I didn't add it to any playlist. And then
I mean, I'll definitely listen to the whole album. I always do.
And it's not like it's bad. It's just it's pretty like lyrically it's pretty basic. Like just you know, like, oh man, I gotta think of a word that's gonna rhyme with life. And so you can pretty much like kind of predict what their next words are gonna be and stuff like that. But
fair enough.
They did have a song called "I'd Be Fine," which parentheses if I never saw you again. Oh man. And it, like that song kind of reminded me of older All Time Low. It had some guitar parts and lyrics that was like, okay, this gives me some old, Let It Roll album kind of vibes. But overall, I don't know. It's pretty average. I'm sorry to say, because I did love All Time Low. Like I still do, honestly. I'll still go back and. The Something's Gotta Give album honestly had some good jams on it. Something's Gotta Give is still a good song to me. I still like a lot of their music, but this album, compared to other music that they have, not up there, my guy.
I'll be honest, that whole Future Hearts album is probably the last album that I really like enjoyed from them. Like Something's Gotta Give is obviously really good. And Tidal Waves, that song with Mark Hoppus, I still really like that song, but honestly, anything outside of that, I'm not really. Yeah, I'm looking through it now. Yeah.
The Last Young Renegade had a song called "Dirty Laundry," which I kind of like.
Yeah, dude, "Dirty Laundry" is a really good song. That's like that might be my favorite All Time Low song, which is hard to believe. Oh wow,
I like it. I don't like it that much though. So
I don't know. It just it's definitely different from their old music, but like it's kind of got like it reminds me of Muse a little bit. Kind of like I don't know how to describe that type of rock, but it's obviously it's definitely not pop punk, but I really like it. I like the lyrics. I like the music.
I'd say my favorite album though of theirs is the Nothing Personal album. I don't know. It's hard to pick, but honestly, that Nothing Personal album. I mean, that had Break Your Little Heart, Damned If I Do Ya, Lost in Stereo, Signal Games, Hello Broken Walls. Yeah, I mean, there was a Therapy. That was the one you couldn't. I remember you always mad because you can never get them to sing that. Or no, they always sang Therapy, and you wanted them to sing Remembering Sunday. That's what it was.
Good old Remembering Sunday.
Oh man, yeah. That still comes up every once in a while, but
yeah, I think I just removed that out of my top jams playlist a couple of weeks ago, actually.
And
honestly, I think, man, if I had to pick a favorite All Time Low album, I don't know what it would be. I also want to say the Don't Panic album.
But probably it's longer now. I'd probably go with Don't Panic, It's Longer one because I had to see more in there. But
yeah, I did. Remember Love Like War? That was great.
Love Like War. Oh man. Yeah, that was.
I think my favorite all-time low album would be Don't Panic, It's Longer Now. There's a lot of great songs on there.
I'm going through it, and I'm gonna stick with what I'm gonna stick with Nothing Personal. Dirty Work, I mean, has some jams too. I feel like Dancing was like a song for me, dude. I remember listening to it when I was younger, and you were first getting into music and showing me music. And I'm like, this song's awesome. And then I totally forgot about it for like years. And then one day it comes back up, and I just remember it being like my anthem. I don't know why, because it's not like I was some party animal or something, and I'm white, so I don't know how to dance. So it's not like it spoke to me on a metaphysical level. But for some reason, dude,
metaphysical level.
For some reason, I just couldn't get Heroes. I remember Heroes.
Yeah, Heroes.
That's the one with that drum breakdown. Or
yeah.
That was a good one. Bad Enough for You. That was like, oh man, I'm so naughty for knowing this song. But yeah, that's my diagnosis of the new album. If you're an all-time low fan, like a lifer, like me and Rob, I'd say give it a listen. Go ahead, but also go back through. If you're not a lifer, go back through and listen to Don't Panic, It's Longer Now, and Nothing Personal. And honestly, you can't really go wrong with any of their old albums.
Yeah,
but
anything Future Hearts and previous.
Yeah,
really can't go wrong.
Yeah. So that's my diagnosis. But Rob, give me your diagnosis on the new Hoodie Allen album that came out. That's a band, or not a band. That's a guy you and I both enjoy. You enjoy him probably a lot more than I do, but I've got several of his songs in my playlist.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely really big when either of us were in college, really.
Yeah,
and for good reason. Like he definitely used to be like a lot more of a party rap kind of guy, like more upbeat. Jump around the room, drink a bunch of beers kind of music.
Yes.
And he's definitely been shifting gears over the last couple albums. I don't know if you listened to his Whatever USA album a couple years ago. Looks like 2019.
Yeah, I remember.
It was pretty good. I kind of liked it. There were a couple songs off there that I liked. Happy Camper was the last album that he came out with that I was really into. Just like there were just like a lot of songs on there that I really liked.
Yeah, but that was a good one.
But his new album came out a couple days ago as of today. Bub. And it's like definitely a breakup album. Oh. It's sad and personal. But I liked it a lot. The first song, Wouldn't That Be Nice? So the whole album's kind of all about him getting cheated on and like played and done dirty and all that. And that's kind of, I don't know, I've kind of cooled on that kind of music a little bit. Like that's kind of why I kind of stopped enjoying pop punk as much. Like older pop punk was all about like, man, girls suck, and why do nice guys finish last? And that's not necessarily the message that this album had. I wouldn't say that, but like, I don't know, that message doesn't resonate too hard with me. Now, a year ago, this album would have really socked me right in the old heart butt.
Right in the old thumper nads, the blood pumping nads.
Yeah, the old thumper nads, as they're referred to by the layman.
As the heart is called in most medical textbooks.
But yeah, the first song, Wouldn't That Be Nice, was kind of like really tearing her a new one, like, what the heck, man, kind of vibes.
What?
And then he had a song with a band called Games We Play, which I'd never heard of, called Hey Ben. It's all about like the lyrics are like, hey Ben, I'm sorry, but I think I might have slept with your girlfriend, and I'm sorry, but I thought she was my girlfriend, that's kind of the catchiest song on the album, and it's a little more, probably the more upbeat song of the whole album. But yeah, this whole album's kind of like a more melancholy, bummer of an album. So like if you're looking for like 18 Cool or like that whole All American album, this is probably not the one for you. But I did kind of like it. I did kind of like it. Better Me, the last song of the album, was like a slower. It's short. It starts off with like a acoustic guitar, and just kind of like talks about how he kind of wants to be better. But yeah, it's kind of a sad album. Like I said, not to like expose myself, but like last year this would have been on repeat. But
did you have
in general,
a favorite out of these? Could you pick out which one?
I don't know.
Like,
probably Hey Ben. Probably Hey Ben, just because it's kind of the more jammable, more upbeat, fun song on the album. But yeah, a lot of it's definitely not like the rap stuff. He doesn't do a lot of rap. And like he's been releasing singles the past couple months, so I don't know where those singles went because they didn't make it onto this album. Like he's definitely been putting out songs, and some of them made him on, some of them didn't. So I don't know. I don't know what happened to those, but it is what it is. Yeah, overall, it's not a bad album. I enjoyed it. It's worth a one time at least. And if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling like girls suck, then this might be the album for you.
All right, I'll give it a listen. Let me just hold up, backtrack here. I don't think girls suck.
Oh, I don't think girls
cool,
suck.
And I'm not going through anything. I'm fine, but I'm still gonna give this a listen because I do like Hoodie Allen's music anytime I listen to it. And I remember we found him because you were going to a concert with
Fall Out Boy concert actually.
Yeah,
that he opened for. Him, Wiz Khalifa, and Fall Out Boy, the ideal lineup for anybody.
It makes perfect sense. Everything about that track. So,
but yeah, it's definitely more of like a pop rock album. He's definitely not as much of a party rap guy anymore, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, but 18 Cool was a great song, and then
it still is.
What's the Act My Age? That one was like,
oh yeah,
that was a great one. But
honestly, everything off those first 3 albums, All American Crew Cuts, People Keep Talking, I like all of those songs, to be honest.
Yeah, I was scrolling through it and I saw All About It where he featured Ed Sheeran. That song I was jamming too.
I think that was the song that got me into him.
Nice.
When I first realized I was going to be seeing him, because our friend actually knew who he was. Like he already listened to Hoodie, so he was like, "Oh yeah, listen to All About It with Ed Sheeran." But he's also an Ed Sheeran fan, so that would be his first suggestion.
Yucky. I'm just kidding. I have no hate against Ed Sheeran. I just don't really listen to him. I just wanted to throw shade because everyone's throwing shade at my music with butt rock. So you know what? I'm going to start just hating everything else.
Ed Sheeran is penis rock.
Yeah. He's front butt rock.
Front butt. Yep, that's him.
At least we got the good butt. Well, all right, Rob. Let's hear your weekly suggestion or bi-weekly suggestion. What do you got?
Man, if we're gonna
a song
on the topic of butt rock, and if I'm gonna try to defend some of these bands here, I gotta recommend an Amberlin song. If you're saying Amberlin made it into butt rock, I didn't see it, but if you're saying they're there and there's some Gen Z kid that's like really hating on my butt right now, then listen to Alexithymia by Amberlin. It's the song that I put on my story the other day. But it's just a very moody, but also upbeat song, and I really like it. I like a lot of Amberlin, and that song's been on repeat a lot recently.
Right. I'll stick with the butt rock theme as well, and I'm gonna officially recommend that Theory of a Dead Man song I was talking about, Medusa, Princess Stone.
Okay, all right.
It was a jam, at least. I mean, I listened to it once.
I feel like if I listen to it, I'm going to be like, oh, yeah.
Butt rock. Gosh,
remember how back in the day they had like Defend Pop Punk? The Man Overboard thing with like the assault rifle and like all that? We need to start hashtag Defend Butt Rock.
Defend Butt Rock.
With like, replace the assault rifle with like a voluptuous round bottom.
Some sweet back meat.
And hashtag YDKT or WDKT.
WDKT. I was like,
although in this case it would be YDKT because you're getting it wrong, kids.
Yeah, I'm ready. You know what? Yeah, I'm ready to just. I'm ready. Yeah,
let's mock up some merch. Let's mock up some wall flags and some T-shirts.
Yeah, our first podcast had like 100 listens. I think anyone knows that means it's time to start designing your own merch.
It's time. It's all or nothing at this point.
Oh man,
I already quit my job.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to pay for the merch, but once that merch is paid off, I'm quitting mine too. It's fine.
Fair enough. I like it.
Well, all right. Thanks everyone for listening to another round of We Don't Know Toots. Thanks for listening to us complain. If you are also butthurt about butt rock, let us know who your number one band that is now thrown into butt rock is. We'll give them a listen.
Yeah. Help us hashtag defend butt rock.
Yeah. Hashtag make butt rock great again. All right. That's what I care about. I don't care who the president is. If that's what they ran for as their slogan, I wouldn't even look at their policies. I know they're fine. They're solid.
They're a stand-up guy or a gal.
Catch me on Fox News tonight, by the way. I have a big announcement.
Yeah, dude. Throw it in the comments. Like, what bands are you not letting be freaking insulted like this? Like, who are your favorite butt rock bands? What songs do you still jam out to this day? Or if you're here to further the idea that butt rock is a real thing, then tell us why, because we just told you why you're wrong. Tell us why you think you're right.
And that way we can get an argument going. There's nothing better, and there's nothing that helps society more than arguing in the comments of something.
Yeah, arguing in the comments on the internet is a healthy pastime that's been passed down from generation to generation. There's a reason we do it, and it's because it works.
All right, this is MC Steven and MC Rob signing off. Thank you guys for listening.
See ya.